So, Marvel Studios just had their panel at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend to pretty much update on all of their upcoming projects. We've got more info on Fantastic Four as well as a title, The Fantastic Four First Steps. We've got some more info on the Thunderbolts with the Red Guardian's new suit, some stuff about Captain America Brave New World, and after all of that, we've got more information on the next two Avengers movies. The Russo brothers are coming back to direct both of them. Secret Wars coming out in 2027, and Avengers 5 is no longer Kang Dynasty, it's Avengers Doomsday. And it was revealed that the role of Victor Von Doom is going to be played by none other than Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, I have mixed feelings. Now, do I think that RDJ has the acting talents to pull this off? Absolutely. He's won, like, what, 3 Academy Awards? But when it comes to a character, an actor can only do so much. There's so much that goes into it, so that's what this video is. Marvel, Russo brothers, Kevin Feige. You want to pull this off? Here's how you do it. The first thing, and arguably the most important thing, even though these are played by the same people, these are two completely different characters. This is not evil Iron Man. I know that in one point in the comics, Victor Von Doom became Iron Man, but that's because he had his whole little redemption arc that Reed Richards gave him, and even then he regressed back to his normal Victor Von Doom self. Okay? He is not Iron Man, so don't give him any of his quirks. Now, both are geniuses in power armor suits, but that's pretty much where the similarities should end. They're also arrogant, but in different ways. Tony is very quick-witted and super charismatic. Victor Von Doom is not. He never jokes and should never quip, not even once. Maybe like a disturbing one? I don't know. But to play it safe, no quipping. It worked with Thanos, like Russo brothers. You made Thanos this super imposing threat, and I don't think he ever quipped once. So yeah, just I guess do that with Doom. I know it's going to be a lot harder because, again, Robert Downey Jr. is very charismatic. Not only that, but Victor isn't just a scientist, he's a sorcerer. His powers rival that of the Sorcerer Supreme, and even surpassing them. I'm pretty sure at this point in the comics that because of a whole vampire war, Doctor Doom actually is Sorcerer Supreme. So yeah, he is very magical, let's say. Also, one of the most important factors of Doctor Doom is that he never takes off his helmet. Because when he tried creating a portal to the underworld to save his mother's soul from Mephisto, the device he used blew up in his face. That's actually part of his origin. You can look that up. Anyways, when he got his actual mask, he had it placed on his face while the metal was still hot, meaning that it scarred his face even more, burning it as well as the scar that the machine left. I don't think that they need to do the amount of prosthetics that they give to Wade Wilson, but something like that. Also, in the reveal, I actually really liked what he did with his hair and being clean shaven. Like, just more facial stuff to prove that, hey, just because this is Robert Downey Jr. doesn't mean it's Tony Stark. Honestly, a scene I would actually really like to see is like any throwaway hero you have, or just like a henchman, like immediately throw in the Iron Man comparison, and Doom just vaporizes them immediately. Like, he's just boom. Doesn't even look at them, deadpan, cold stare, and just do not compare me to Iron Man. Just something like that. So we know that, hey, again, different characters, this guy should be taken super seriously. The second thing that they need to get right is the rivalry between Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom. Their rivalry and hatred for one another is arguably one of the most iconic in the Marvel Universe, and is obviously going to be a main focal point of both of these movies because the Fantastic Four are going to have big roles in both Doomsday and Secret Wars. Doom's hatred of Reed is so powerful that during the 2015 Secret Wars, he basically banished him from existence, took Sue as his wife and their kids as his own. And this isn't a Sue should be with me, not you. He never really had like a thing for Susan. That was just in the movies. But he, in fact, hates Reed so much because he blames him for that first accident. When he was making the machine, Reed noticed that he miscalculated, but Doom and his hubris did not listen. Therefore, when the accident happened, instead of shifting the blame on himself for, miscalculating and not listening to Reed, he put that frustration onto him. So basically, he's like, this is your fault, even though you warned me. That with some superiority complexes and Doom's ego, and yeah, he'll always have that hatred for the smartest man alive. Well, Reed is the smartest man. I'm putting air quotes in because I'm pretending to be Doom, calling him the smartest man alive. Anyways, the Russo brothers were able to portray Thanos' motivation and backstory in such a way where he's considered one of the best movie villains of all time. And now having the benefit of a pre-existing character, Reed Richards, play a role in Doom's backstory, I'm curious to see how they're going to pull it off. Also, seeing Pedro Pascal interact with Robert Downey Jr. in this context, it has me intrigued. Like, I'm being cautiously optimistic. The third thing is how the current MCU characters who had a relationship with Tony Stark will react to Doctor Doom. Besides Rhodey, the most important one, arguably, is Spider-Man. Iron Man played such a heavy role in MCU Peter's development when he was alive and when he was dead. That, with the rumor that MCU Peter is going to be sort of the chosen one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's really interesting to see how this is going to go down. I mean, especially if it's during these movies where Peter gets the black suit, or it's when the black suit starts affecting Peter's personality. I don't see Peter falling for the, but he looks just like Mr. Stark. I don't know if I can do this. I don't see him doing that at this point. It's like, he's met variants of himself that look nothing like him. So I feel like there's like the initial shock, but I don't see MCU Peter like hesitating all that much. I mean, he might hesitate once, but other than that, I don't see him like about to take the final blow and just hesitating too much. Hell, I'd honestly like a small scene where Peter is laying the smackdown on Doom wearing the black suit. Maybe getting some of the pent-up emotions he had against Tony Stark out of his system. Like blackmailing him to go to Germany. Or not taking Vulture seriously. Or leaving him Edith even though he's a goddamn teenager. What was Tony Stark think? What I'm trying to get at is that I don't want them to be like super, the bad guy has the face of someone we love. It's going to be hard to defeat him. Because, like, especially with someone like Doctor Strange or other characters who have vast experience with the multiverse, like, there will be an initial shock, but I feel like they should get used to this, because this is not Tony Stark. This is Victor Von Doom, a completely different person with a new face. And especially with, like, I mean, it might be a little harder for characters who never met Tony, but knew about him and his sacrifice, like Shang-Chi or Kamala Khan, like, those characters I could see having more of a hesitation, but I feel like the more experienced Avengers will know that, hey, even if this is Tony, he would want us to stop him. Our Tony would want us to stop him. And even then, it'll be completely inconsequential to characters like Toby's Peter or Andrew's Peter or Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, because, like, those characters have no idea who Tony Stark is. Well, maybe Hugh Jackman's new Wolverine does, because spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, that version of Wolverine mentioned the Avengers, so, like, maybe he knows of a Tony Stark? I don't know. It's just, you really gotta handle these characters well, and the Russo brothers do a great job of that. It's just, I don't want them to heavily focus on the fact that, hey, the bad guy has the face of someone we love. That's basically it. The fourth thing that they really need to get right is the design of Doctor Doom, and that will very much help sell RDJ playing this character. Doctor Doom has this very simple design. It's basically medieval armor with a green cloak. And the most important thing is the eyes. His entire body from head to toe is covered except for his eyes, so that you can see him stare into your soul as you lay lifeless as he just sits on his throne, arms crossed. Okay, that might have been a bit much. In all seriousness, if he's gonna be wearing the mask for the majority of his screen time, which he should, the eyes need to be on display to help convey RDJ's emotions during moments where he's like explaining his tragic backstory or in a heated conversation with Reed Richards. You know, kind of like how in The Batman, Robert Pattinson's eyes told a lot of his emotions, even though you could see part of his face. It's all in the eyes. So yeah, just get the suit right, because Doctor Doom arguably has one of the most iconic looks for a villain. So yeah, just don't fuck up the suit. The fifth and final part for me right now, that if Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Doctor Doom, is his mannerisms. As I mentioned before, Doom isn't a villain who jokes around. In fact, jokes and attempts to get under his skin, they don't even faze him. A perfect example is this scene from Avengers Earth 90's Heroes, where the Wasp is trying to get under Doom's skin or get him to react. Here's the clip. Hey, Dr. Doom, right? You have contacts before you had enough forever. Jan, did something happen about you, robot girl? Hey, seriously, did you really think you're gonna walk away from this? You think you're the only body in the movie now? That's it. I'm not sure over your second Iron Man armor. Not only. Why did you talk to me?
Miss Van Dyne, I am not some common criminal that can be distracted by your prattling. You are nothing to Doom, and your pathetic attempts to play mind games with me amount to exactly less than nothing. So please, stop embarrassing yourself.
Do you notice how he responded to that? He's basically like, you ain't shit, I don't care, shut the fuck up. That's basically his whole response to someone who is trying to get under his skin with quips. Like, imagine that kind of interaction with someone like Deadpool. Like, man, how is Deadpool gonna work in all this? I am so confused. Questions for another time. Like, I don't normally use modern slang, but that moment that I showed you, it had this aura to it, you know? Like, if they can just keep him unfazed by other characters' attempts to joke or reason with him, or just, you know, his I am better than you, I am Doom. Like, just that, I don't know if stoicism is the right word, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, if you can get that down, then you've already got half the work done. Now, this happened like a few hours ago at the time of this recording. All in all, I don't hate the casting, but I'm not totally geeking out over it either. I mean, I can't be too crazy, since the movie isn't even written yet. Like, they just announced the new name, because this was originally going to be Kang as the bad guy. So, they've got a lot of time to work with. Now, would I have preferred RDJ to come back as Iron Man instead? Yes. I mean, for all we know, that this is a variant of Doctor Doom that pulled a superior Spider-Man and took over Tony Stark's brain, and he gets his body back towards the end of the film and has one last hurrah as Iron Man, but here's what I think it really comes down to. I think after Avengers Secret Wars, it will be the end of the MCU as we know it. Do I think they're going to stop making movies? Absolutely not. After Deadpool and Wolverine, they've made a total of over $30 billion. They're not stopping anytime soon. But I do think that defeating this foe, this powerful foe who has the face of the first hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is a way to sort of come full circle in a sort of ending that can lead to a soft reboot of the MCU. One where all of the Avengers, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men all have always lived in this universe together. They've always existed together. And it's a great way to bring in new people to play Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, and other characters who never got the chance to interact with other characters they have strong relations with in the comics. Also, to have a more fresher Marvel universe to coincide with the fresh DC universe that James Gunn and Peter Safran are working on, that would actually be kind of cool. Like, they're growing and evolving together. That might be wishful thinking, but I think that would be cool. Honestly, I also wouldn't be shocked that in Secret Wars, there is like a new variant of Tony Stark, and he's one of the ones that deals the final blow to Victor Von Doom as sort of like a passing of the torch thing. So yeah, whether we like it or not, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Victor Von Doom in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And to that I say, let them cook. So what do you guys think of the announcement? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you completely indifferent to it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm dropping a new cosplay video very soon, so I hope you guys subscribe as well so you see it when it drops. Be sure to leave a thumbs up, it really helps me out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.